Hello, I am going to be giving a brief overview on how to set up a Google Classroom page, whether you want to use it for your regular classroom, when you're in person, whether you're hybrid, whether you're doing remote learning. Google Classroom is just a really great tool to utilize. I am currently in person with my students, but we use Google Classroom as a way to keep materials and assignments all kind of in one place, so we can easily access them at a later date if needed. So this is what the Google Classroom homepage kind of looks like when you start. You'll notice I have 7 tabs or 7 classrooms currently set up. These are my ones that I'm using this year. And then if you click over here to the left side of the screen beside the Google Classroom logo, it says main menu. This also just gives you your list of classes. It also gives you your archived classes. So I've been using Google Classroom since I started teaching here. So these are my 6 ones from last year, some of my ones from the year before. Like I said, I just use them, makes things easier, keeps everything kind of in one place. At the end of the year, whenever I'm ready to archive my old classes, I click the little 3 button over on the side, the top right hand corner of each one, and I would just click archive and it will automatically send it back over here. So first of all, to start, I just want to either join a class or create a class. So if I click create a class, it'll allow me to create a name. And as I create a name, so I'm going to go ahead and create one for next year's class. So I like to name mine with the class content name. So American History, if I can spell, and it'll be for the year 21-22. And my number lock is on. What do you know? 21-22. Let's try that again. So if you're at a bigger school, you can type in the section. Maybe you have multiple sections. I only have one class of each of my topics because I'm at a tiny school. So I don't usually use that. You can do subject, you can do room. Like I said, I'm at a really small school, so I just do the class name. So I'm going to create it. It takes a little bit to create. Once it's done creating, it will open up that new page for you. So this is kind of what it looks like, very kind of generic. Once you've done that, I like to come in and create topics. So I want to create a World War I topic. So I'll just do that, click add, and now it's got another topic. I usually like to make my topics based on the different units. So we also have a Roaring 20s, if I can type, a Roaring 20s topic. We have a World War II topic for this specific class. And so you'll notice it has my topics over here. So once I've created my topics, then I can go back in, create assignments underneath those topics. I can add materials. Say I want to send my students a PowerPoint with some information about the Roaring 20s. And I don't want it as an assignment, I just want it as materials. I would click material. I could type in 1920s PowerPoint. And then go over here. If I want to add from my Google Drive, I'll click Google Drive. If I want to add from file from my computer, I could do file. Maybe there's a YouTube video I want my students to watch. I can click that. I can either give the URL or I can search. Sorry, that was my dog. 1920s. Maybe I want them to watch the crash course. So then I can add it. I can click the Roaring 20s. and I can either post it immediately or I can schedule it out for, say I want to schedule this for, and that's my cat, sorry, for December 6th, 2020 at 8 a.m. I can schedule it, and the students will not be able to see it until it has posted at 8 o'clock on December 6th. I could have also created a quiz. I can create a question. I can reuse a post. So let's go, say I want to use my American History 2021. My students right now are creating Twitter accounts for either someone who's pro-New Deal or anti-New Deal. So I want to make a copy for each of my students. I'm going to assign this. And then if I was a student looking at this, you'll notice how this is more like a lighter color. This is bright. That is because it has been posted 10:51 p.m. So when my students go to look at this in 6 months, when school starts again in August, they would be able to see, this would be the first thing they would see. As you add students, they will pop up here. So I want to invite. I can either send them the link or I can type their name. So if it's on my school account, I just type whatever my students' names happen to be for the year, type them in here. It auto-populates their email, and I just send them an invite. They click yes, and they're in the class. It can show grades for assignments. Currently, I don't have any students, so I can't really show that one off. One thing that I recommend doing is going to over here to the little gear, clicking it, going to your class settings, scrolling down to your stream. So that's going to be that home page right there at the front when they first get into a class, and making it so that your teacher, you are the only one who can post or comment. And then I don't like to put the classwork notifications on the stream. I think it bogs it down a lot. So I set it to where only announcements that I post show up here. So let me show you. This is my current 7th grade Kansas history class. I did not streamline this one. So this shows materials. Every time I post like a new material or an assignment, it shows up in the stream, which there's not very much because we just switched to January, but it can kind of bog it down when you get a lot. Whereas if you look at, say, my world history class, there's not much in here, just some assignment or some announcements. So I got sick back in October. Here is some information that I posted for them. Another one that I posted in September. Just very simple, very streamlined. So if I say, hey guys, you have an announcement, go check your classroom page for some information, or say I'm going to be gone, I can post an announcement there and it's immediately there. They're not having to search and try and find stuff. This is what it looks like when there are lots of assignments or materials underneath the different topics. So these, it says students can only see topics with published posts. So when they look at it, they're only going to see these. They're not going to see these ones down here at the bottom that aren't popped up yet. So I really hope that you enjoy Google Classroom. I hope that this has been a helpful tutorial. I'm sure there's a lot more that you can do with Google Classroom, but these are some of the things that I find very helpful within my own classroom pages. Thank you.